Check 1 2 1 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everyone above, below, or in between, welcome back. And today we are going to be talking a little bit about some of the social justice nonsense that you keep seeing online, some of the bullshit that's out there. Because social justice is born from feminism or whatever, you know it's going to be very tightly, it's going to be tied to the government because, let's face it, you're talking about indoctrinating a bunch of fools, just the same as a religion. And you're talking about a possibility of a whole 50% of a vote. Okay, so, and that's a possibility. All right. Reality is less than 10% or something like that. I mean, it's a very small percentage of people that actually identify as feminists. And like I said, feminism wasn't crazy enough for the younger variety, for the new generation. You know, everybody wants to pioneer something, so they had to make something called social justice. Social justice. We gotta be inclusive. We gotta get everybody involved for me. Little old whatever the hell that's been put on a pedestal, which happens, in this case, happens to be women. Matter of fact, we actually saw it last year when the ladies put themselves on top of everybody else once they became completely irrelevant or useless to their masters or their betters or whatever the hell you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like just the same as Clinton, they got a bunch of Muslim type folks at the top of their hierarchy, or at the top, you know what I mean? At the top of their rank system or whatever, which is completely flawed or whatever. But they're trying to claim that those are the new victims or whatever. It's all bullshit. I'm like, no, you guys are just useful fucking idiots. You're now doing shit for your master, which of course would be Hillary Clinton. She gets money from the Saudi Arabia and all these other organizations tied to the Islamic folks. That's all it is. So they just made up a brand new religion, and they're trying to indoctrinate all the younger kids into playing along. Maybe they'll get a little something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the payoff is, because we all know the payoff in religion. It's all about for better afterlife, which doesn't do us a hell of a lot of good in the living world. But at least with the standard religions, you get things like missionaries, you know, people going out to dangerous or poor areas and trying to feed the poor, educate, provide medicine and medical, things like that, you know what I mean? And they'll risk going into locations that have more or less kind of sort of outlawed, like Christian type of folks' existence, you know what I mean? Like set them on fire, beheading them in nasty ways, enslaving them. I mean, the list goes on all the crimes that go on in some of these areas. But I mean, like I said, like they go into places like where there's like Africa, where you got Ebola and AIDS and shit. You know what I mean? They go in and they try to do some good in the world. So, like I said, you know, you got that with standard religions. You know, maybe there's some goodwill towards man that comes out of it. You know, I mean, with the Buddhist monks, we know we got some kick-ass kung fu. You know what I mean? There's at the end of the day, there's normally something positive that comes out of it. But I mean, with these social justice warriors, the result is they got a bunch of fucking grown-ass people that are acting like freaking children. And it's gotta freaking stop, folks. It's gotta stop. A lot of folks keep wondering how on earth did any of this start? How on earth did any of this start? And I'm like, well, it looks to me like it started out of convenience. Out of convenience. I mean, you got social media, so you got a very easy way to organize real quick. And of course, they jumped right on top of that. You know, there's a bunch of rich kids. We're talking like early 2000s, folks, before the internet really kicked off. It was really a big thing. You got a bunch of rich kids out there always socializing online, making fools of themselves, and always taking pictures of themselves while they're high, posting it on. It wasn't Facebook at the time. I think it was MySpace back in those days. I mean, you got a bunch of those idiots clowning around. You know what I mean? And for all the other younger kids that are of lower level, like say middle class or whatever, you know, they'd be like, hey, I want to be like these folks. These folks seem to have everything. You know, their parents buy them fancy freaking cars every time they graduate. When's it gonna be my turn? You know, that kind of bullshit. I want, me, without one bit of earning it. And the first thing that keeps cropping up, because women are competitive and men are competitive, I mean everybody's competitive, the first thing that starts cropping up is the folks that are able to talk other people into doing shit that they normally wouldn't do. You know what I mean? And then there's social pressure, and then we get things like, oh, idiots committing suicide. Then we get idiots committing crimes or whatever. You know what I mean? We get some weird shit. So of course, you gotta bring in the law, and that shit sort of gets regulated, sort of. Then with every new system, there's a loopholes, and if there's ways to abuse it, it will happen. Good example of that you guys can find would be all the video gamers that were swatted, so to speak. And I don't even know how the hell that's possible. Everybody knows how to deliver a fake pizza to somebody's house. Everybody knows how to fake dial up 911 or whatever. But nobody, I don't know how the hell you get a freaking SWAT team over. But like I said, with every new system, there's going to be a way to abuse it. It will happen. And with a lot of these folks, you know, like I said, they consider themselves the hierarchy. They consider themselves everybody else's betters because they practice this one little religion called social justice or whatever. Getting back to its origins, how the hell does it start? I honestly don't know, folks. I honestly don't know, but today, since we have evidence of like I said, just the same as Clinton, having her Muslim masters that give her money, and just the same as social justice warriors saying, "Oh, don't be Islamophobe," and they just got to put Muslims on top of their hierarchy. I don't think it's too hard to figure out where this comes from. All right, folks, I think it's very well connected to our government, not officially, of course, but off the books, kind of hush hush, nudge nudge, wink wink, kind of style. You know, the members of our government. Let's just put it that way. The members of our supposed ruling class. They've mucked around with the rest of our country for way too long, mucking around with the education system, trying to make kids dumber, mucking around with the social media, trying to indoctrinate motherfuckers. How is that possible? Well, you take away the jobs, you take away the license from all these young teenagers. You know what I mean? You set up rules and laws so that nobody under the age of 18 can get hired, or set it up to where they don't even want to get hired. They keep looking at the internet like, oh, I can make money doing this just by sitting at my house. I can make YouTube videos. And I'm like, yeah, get in line. Everybody does. Folks, I'm in here just doing this shit out of conscience. I'm not making videos expecting to get famous or whatever the fuck. I'm not expecting to get rich either. And of course, that was contested quite a bit through Gamergate, and I just found it hilarious. They're like, nobody does this shit for free, and I was like, you'd be amazed. Like I said, some of these rich folks, like I said, they get sponsored. They have other sponsors. They have other means of collecting money. For them, fucking around on YouTube or Twitter or whatever the hell it is, it's an afterthought. It's just recreation. It's still purely recreation. Particularly the folks that really have a clue. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but when you got resources to burn, internet's, internet interacting with a massive body of people, it's not exactly absolutely necessary. It's just more of a plaything kind of thing, as opposed to all the other folks that try to be professional about it and really turn it into a job. Yeah, you're going to be seeing all kinds of conflicts of interest, and right now that's kind of the unwritten conflict that's going on online right now. You got the purely professional and the folks that just want to be upstanding and whenever the hell they can, and they don't want to make an ass of themselves. But you know, it's like, hey, if they got their 15 minutes of fame, I got my 15 minutes of fame, and that's it. We'll fade away. We'll fade away quietly. You know, it's like, hey, there's that 1 minute, and then there you go. That's it. Done. You know what I mean? But then you got the folks that they know how to be. They really know how to be famous. They really know how to use that and work with that like it's a job. But instead of dealing with it like it's a job, they just play around with it. So there's that kind of conflict that we're used to. That's the only conflict that we know of. Now we got social justice warriors, and now we got fuckers connected to politics. And that's when the shit went full tilt boogie. You'll know this if you hung around Gamergate. You know, almost every time you disagree with one of these social justice warriors, you were called racist, you were called sexist, you were called evil, right-wing Republican or whatever. Every damn time. All five of those. That's pretty much the labels that they put on you for disagreeing. Straight up disagreeing. It's like, no, I don't think we should solve a problem this way. I think we should solve it another way. You know what I'm saying? It no longer became a discussion or a true argument. It's now a pushback against this weird pseudo alternate religion. Other folks, I don't know what they're being paid off in. I suspect that there's money at the tip top, and then there's favors after that, and then even lower than that, there might be a bone here or there. Then you got the useful idiots, which basically don't get jack shit. I personally I seriously don't get it, folks. I really don't. Because right now you can see the results of it. It's just fucking up people. Are they looking better than they used to? No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they're not. They're looking 10 times more disgusting. Matter of fact, they're taking away some of the memories that a lot of us had from the past. Like with the flannel shirts, I remember back in the day when grunge was in, and everybody was wearing flannel shirts, even during the summer for whatever reasons. And thank God they actually made material that was light enough back in those days. Because I mean, seriously, when you go shopping for clothing back in those days, folks, everything's fucking flannel. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? You're like, where's the solids? You know what I mean? Go shopping for your clothes, and yeah. Thankfully the pants. Thankfully they didn't muck around with the pants. Today's generation, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. They keep wearing these skinny pants that only should fit women. Yet they got them running around. They got fat people wearing this shit. It's like, it's disgusting. It's gross. Cut that shit out, kids. Your body's, trust me, skinny jeans, it's a privilege, not a right. Alright? You're not a rock star. Unless you're a rock star, for all you men out there, unless you're a rock star, you have no business running around in skin-tight jeans. Alright? All you ladies out there, unless you weigh less than the average man, you have no business running around in skin-tight shit. You don't. Let me tell you, I looked up the weight class of the average man. It's not that easy to get that, folks. It is for guys like me, but that's another story off the books. So, folks, don't be fooled by the social justice bullshit. Don't interact with them. Don't engage with them. The minute you discover them, freaking click them off your subscribers list if you can, or like it's Twitter, you can just sit there and hit that block button and get rid of them, and then unblock them and let them go about their business. Maybe they'll learn their lesson throughout time, but 9 times out of 10 they don't. You know what I mean? Hit the mute button. Just don't even bother with them. Because right now we're seeing it. We actually had a Democratic vote, and they're protesting it. They're protesting it. And we're seeing the media suck up to these idiots, these social justice nonsense, the politically correct nonsense, which is where the main origins of it goes, folks. And like I said, in order to really understand that, you're going to have to get into feminism. That's an old history lesson from ages ago. I'm not fucking around with that. I don't care about the feminists that much to know that much about them. They're just like, they don't even look at themselves, folks. They don't even look into the mirror. They don't even know how disgusting they are. We all got to put up with it. Fox Gibson signing out. Good luck to all y'all. Luck on your projects. I'm tired of this shit. So should you. Peace out. Mic check.